move on to back to the Social Democrats. Deputy Roisin Shortall sharing with Jennifer Whitmore.
Thanks to that RTE Investigates programme, Greyhounds Running for Their Lives, which aired last year, the cruel and inhumane practices of the greyhound industry were revealed to the public. For many, this was the first time they were confronted with the reality of what goes on behind closed doors in greyhound racing, and it spurred a major public outcry. Since the airing of that programme, there has been an increased public focus on welfare practices. However, 18 months on, it is difficult to point to the practical application of commitments from the industry, and increasingly there is the potential for resources to be transferred away from welfare matters towards commercial activities without oversight or consequence. An examination of welfare spending in recent years is revealing. On average, over the years 2014 to 18, the IGB has spent a mere 2.2% of expenditure on welfare measures. This is set out very clearly under the heading of Contributions to Greyhound Welfare and Irish Retired Greyhound Trust. It's clear that the resources directed towards welfare in the greyhound industry were entirely insufficient to upholding the necessary standards. In 2019, the GRI annual report no longer detailed contributions to greyhound welfare and the Irish Retired Greyhound Trust on its own, and makes it impossible to compare welfare spending to other years on a like-for-like basis. Of course, priority should have been given to funding the widespread implementation and promotion of the Care Fund for greyhounds, also foster schemes, care centres, the Greyhound Industry Support Scheme and the Free Phone Welfare Line, all of which were committed to by the Irish Greyhound Board. It should also be noted that a considerable... Sorry, it's just very difficult when there's a little huddle over here.
Ministers, sorry, if we could just please, thank you very much.
Thanks. It should also be noted that a considerable proportion of the Care Fund is being ring-fenced by the IGB to develop and maintain a traceability system for greyhounds. Traceability is a basic operational requirement, and the costs for same should not be taken from an already unstable and insufficient pot proposed for the purposes of animal welfare initiatives. Following an increase of funding last year, the Minister for Agriculture, Food and Marine has stated that funding for the industry is contingent on maintaining and implementing welfare standards. However, despite seeking further information, it is unclear how these welfare standards are tracked and evaluated against future funding. Indeed, the worry is that there is no formalised structure in place at all. There should have been a strict, formal way to make public funding for GRI dependent on transparent, trackable welfare measures. Sending taxpayers' money to an industry with serious animal cruelty concerns and crossing your fingers that they'll use it for welfare is simply not good enough, Minister. In relation to the issue of traceability, a considerable proportion of current welfare funds is being set aside to develop a traceability system. But a traceability system should be a basic operational requirement unrelated to welfare initiatives. Proper traceability systems track the whole of a greyhound's life and are essential to tackling harmful welfare practices and overbreeding. Without a reliable system starting from birth, there is no clear record of breeding, euthanasia or export. Equally, there is no transparent, rigorous system of inspection of greyhound breeders. Inspections are vital to increasing accountability among breeders and ensuring compliance with the Welfare of Greyhounds Act 2005. But this hasn't happened. At this stage, Minister, it's clear that by contributing millions of taxpayers' money, The government is propping up an inherently cruel industry which the Irish public has been increasingly rejecting. It's time now to phase out this industry, Minister.